Hey guys, this is Aaron Tazrick with Kodiak Emergency Vehicles. I want to take this opportunity to walk you around some Braun Chief XLs. What you'll see here is we have three different ones that are very different, and that's one of the key features of a Braun is going to be they'll meet whatever needs that you're looking for. One thing I want to talk about before we get into it is going to be that roof on a Braun. As you can see, they're all that arched roof. That arched roof isn't just for looking pretty; it's for it's that strength. Adds that strength to the vehicle. So you look at a bridge or a flatbed truck that's arched, it's to create extra strength. That's why a Braun arches the roof like that. It is a requirement to meet, I think it's 1.5 times the weight of the vehicle with a static load test, and then be able to open up one door. Braun actually maximizes all the capability of that testing equipment, and it can actually open up all doors. So one of the things I want to jump around here, we'll show you some features and stuff, but really what some of the differences are that you can get in a Braun. So first thing's going to be the chassis. You're going to be on an F550. This is a gasoline chassis. Then you're going to have an E450 gasoline, and you're going to also have an F550 diesel. You also have other chassis options as well. But let's just jump over to the side. I guess the first thing that I want to look at, though, is also the lighting. So these are going to be Whelen 900 lights on these two vehicles. And then on the other one to the far, which we're missing some of the lights on it because we're setting it up to do graphics on it, which are going to be the Code 3 lighting. So one thing I want to point out, though, too, is with the graphics, we pull everything off so that all of our graphics goes up underneath and is not cut around anything or cut onto the vehicle. So real quick here, I'll just jump into the front, or let's just look at the front of these. It's going to be air horns. So you'll have air horns that are mounted on the actual body. You'll have no air horns here, and then you'll have some air horns, and these are Grover air horns that are under the body. You'll also have different siren speakers on them, and a little bit different lighting that's also on the front of the vehicle. So moving over here to the cab of this one. This is more of a standard. If you can just pop in there, you'll see more of a standard. Again, it's going to be an all aluminum though. Braun's going to have all aluminum versus a wood console. It's going to have a VMUX multiplex system. And then you'll have different options such as the interior dome light. And then great to have the ability to have cup holders. So jumping over to this one now, which has a lot of different options in it. Again, all aluminum. This is going to have the EQ2B siren. On the side, you'll see 125 volt and a USB outlet. You'll also have the Havas mount. Computer mount. One thing too that you can't see here because we took off some of the cameras, but it's going to be a 360 camera that's from FRC. Also, you can see the air horns are through these lanyards. We did send out the seats on these to be recovered with vinyl. And it did also has a Vista lock system in it, so I'll jump in on the other side and show you how that works. So I don't know if you can see it from there, but the Vista lock system is going to be when the door is closed and I'm seated, it's ready to go, but I can't move into park or to drive. I have to plug in the code, hit the code, and then I have the ability to go into drive. But again, if I open the door and step out of the seat, it will then lock it so that I can't go into drive, and I would have to put the code in. Jump back over to the cab of this other one. Again, pointing out just the differences that you can get in a Braun. So here what you have is the ability to, one thing too that I want to point out is going to be armrests. If you're going to get these, especially these Ford Type 1 fronts, is going to be put those armrests in, but here's where you're going to do the air horn, and they elected to do 2 sirens, and they have their VMUX multiplex system on a swivel base. So again, just some different things up in the front. They all also have The two type ones have the liquid spring suspension. And just talk about some of the compartmentation. So one, they all have the Everhard door handles, which are free floating. That free floating is going to stop the other ones that aren't free floating. When you pull on them, you're actually pulling on all that mechanisms and stuff that are in there. These are kind of like your regular doors and stuff that are from your cab that are going to free float and not put that in there. Everhard door handles are also going to be give you the ability to open with a gloved hand. This one, as you can see, is set up. Most of the time you'll see a lot of times the O2 compartment would be here, and this one's set up for they're going to put a lot of their gear into. So I'll jump over to the other one and show you that number one compartment, which is more of a standard. Same thing, Everhard door handles, but this is more of a standard setup that you'll see with the O2 in the front. And then jumping over to this one. This one's great. And again, we take off everything so that everything goes up underneath. But this one is great because it's going to show you the easy O2 lift. So instead of having any other O2 lifter having to pick up that O2, you're going to have the ability to push that down. And really, this is really a demonstration of how strong those Braun doors are and everything. But to put your O2, which I think they use H-size tanks, on the door, so there's just the number one compartment. So some of the differences that you see there. So let's start with this one now and talk about the number two compartment. Really, this one is pretty much a standard compartment that you'll see, but it's got an extra shelf. It does have LED strip lighting or ridgeback strip lighting on the inside. This one does have the inverter in this number two compartment. Jumping over to the other one, and again, these are all Chief XLs. Sometimes they look bigger just because they're on bigger chassis, but really it's the same size, 169 inches. Long, 72-inch headroom. This is the number two compartment here, which is more of a standard with standard lighting. And jumping over to the other one, same thing on this one. It's going to be pretty much set up as a standard. They did add a 125 volt and a 12 volt outlet. This is where they have their compressor for their air horns. So one of the things you won't see on these other ones is going to be a pull-out drawer. And again with the LED lighting. And then we'll check out the number three on this one. Again, we pulled off all the lighting on the back of this so that we could put on some chevrons on the back. So that's what you see sitting back here. But it's going to be really showing you that they're set up on this one for the inside-outside access, and they do have 125 volt and a 12 volt. One thing I want to point out with this one, and it's great because it's opened up, is going to be the spray foam versus a plank foam that people put other manufacturers put in here. So everything's got spray foam on the inside of that all aluminum body. So we'll jump over to this one. This one is one of our demos that we have, is going to be set up for a stair chair possibility here, but they can pull that off if they don't want it. Also, you're going to see that they're going to have the lights on this one, that the safety lights if the doors are open. All right, now we'll jump over to this one here. This one's a lot different too, because really they just put their stair chair in here. This is where their compressor is here, but really it's set up for some equipment and stuff in the back, but just is only going to be the stair chair in this compartment. Since we're over here, we'll jump to the number four. Again, we don't even put on the drip rails or anything. We'll put everything else on after that. One thing I want to point out since we're here, and I remembered it too, is going to be the rub rails. So these are a poly rub rail that we started to put on this for this customer. We'll go over and I'll show you more of the standard Braun rub rail in a second too. One thing too that I could point out here is going to be it's all gator hide. Everything's a gator hide interior instead of a tread plate. The tread plate, a lot of the guys will put, or a lot of the OEMs will put that on inside, and that's going to tear up your gear. So this one's set up for backboards, jump bags, and some other equipment down below. And here's a good point that good place I can point out to the rub rail. This is more of a standard with a reflective material inside. So this is going to be a backboards stair chair, ability to put stair chair in here and inside-outside access. And since I'm here, you know, one of the things I want to point out is that you know, what this is showing is kind of that upper corner, and it's showing you the roof and then everything that's fully welded. And really the big key thing here that makes a difference between a Braun is going to be it's going to be a brake formed aluminum. It's the same alloy aluminum that goes through the whole vehicle. And one of the things, I mean, just looking at this here, that when you bend that, when you put that bend into the aluminum and then use that same alloy aluminum through the body, it really creates that strength of what a Braun is with that solid body construction. But that bend, if I can use this piece of paper here, you know, a lot of the guys are using 090 for thickness. We're using 0.125. So really, let's just say for argument's sake, 090, 125. When you put that bend in now, that's when you create that strength that then is welded versus a VHB tape or some type of a seal in between. But that welded all the way through, and you also don't have any extrusions through the body. And those extrusions are a different alloy that's going to cause issues later with different dissimilar metals touching, but also an extrusion weighs more. So this is going to give you lower center of gravity, especially with all your roof structure, but lower center of gravity and really less wear and tear on the vehicle. Since I have this here too, this is showing the pan formed doors, but really one of the key things, 0.125 versus 090 or anything smaller. But the key thing here is Braun will put behind anything, because this is going to be a different alloy, they'll put a plastic backer back behind here to stop those dissimilar metals from touching. So this is more of a standard layout. We'll go back over here, which I think is, if I remember correctly, pretty close to the same. Oh no, it's not. This one's totally different. So it's going to be, they actually elected to put their O2 in the back here, which one of the good things about putting the O2 in the back is also going to be, you put a lot of your weight on the other side, and that O2 weighs a lot. So by putting your O2 over here, it helps with that weight. But this customer wanted to put the O2 back here. They have the stair chair here, backboards, inside-outside access. So one of the things they all have in common is going to be the Braun sliding door. That Braun sliding door, especially if you're in a tight area, if your station's tight, a lot of people like to leave their door open so they're getting in and out. So that gives you the ability to do that. One of the things too on a hinged door, if it's coming out here, especially in rural Michigan, you have those deep side or the deep banks and stuff that you're going into. You don't have to step out and around to get into your ALS. So you're right here and you don't have that hinged door. But really one of the things I like to point out is that if you're looking back and forth and you have the ALS closed, it gives you the ability to look out and look for traffic, not only to the back, but really looking for any traffic that's coming from the front side. So that's one of the things with the sliding door that I really like to point out. So ALS, full ALS all the way down. This one does not need to have the batteries down below because it's not pulling that much where it needs the extra batteries. Come on, follow me. One thing too here, since we're here, we can point out is going to be the underbody lights. The other one on the other side also has these too, but it's great for stepping out in the darkness to be able to see. So this one will have pretty much a standard ALS, and then it's going to have a battery with a slide out tray. we'll walk over here to the other one. So one thing too that I want to point out is going to be the external condenser. So you have an external condenser on the outside of this one. You don't have one on the E450, and you actually don't have one either over on the other F550. That external condenser, that's an AC condenser that's going to give you more BTUs or cooling power that really in Michigan, it's arguable if you need it or not. So if you look at this ALS compartment, it's much smaller. They just wanted it set up to be able to access this area. Down below, I think they keep a little stool down here. Again, it has a sliding door, but here's a great feature that they have is going to be a touchpad that will lock and unlock the entire module from here. They also have that on the cab. They have a roll-up door on this side. And then their ALS is set up all different from this side. All right, so let's talk through some of the interior differences. We'll start with this one over here. So really, before we start with the differences, let's start with the commonality of what makes a Braun a Braun. The interior is going to be all aluminum. A lot of the other guys are going to have all wood interior. This is all aluminum. It also doesn't have Formica over the aluminum or anything. It's a multi-spec that's very easy to clean. That all aluminum is welded. Doesn't have fasteners that are holding it in, and it's welded into the body, and that's part of that Braun lifetime warranty as well. So also has seamless ceiling. All LED interior lights. One of the things I want to point out on this one is going to be the Braun Vital Max lighting, which is the angled lighting that really helps with any shadows in the back of the module. This one does, I'll jump in real quick, have the Valor airway seat, child safety. It's going to be a one-click, and this does meet the new harness standards, restraints. So it's got the one click on it. Does have the VMUX electrical system. That VMUX electrical system is a peer-to-peer system, meaning if one of the modules goes down, the others will keep going, versus a master-slave is going to be if the master goes down, then the other ones will go down with it as well. And then I'll just, with this one too, I can point out, since I'm in here, the electrical. It's going to be back in here, which is going to show you really with all the multiplex electrical. Yellow antimicrobial grab bars, glove box holder over the curbside door. This one, if you turn around real quick, does have a module interior camera, and the Franklin digital clock, as well as the OEM speakers. Jumping into this one, and I know I'm taking a little bit of your time, and I appreciate it. So it does have lowered module doors so that it does create that second step. This one also has the Valor Seat. Big difference between this one and the other type one is this is going to have a pass-through, or a crawl-through instead of the pass-through. You can see that everything's taken down here, and you can see also where some of the electrical and everything is in the Braun. We took the head pad down so that we could get back in there, take the lighting off, and also the rear view camera. There are O2s in the back, and this does have the O2 bypass valve. One of the things that's different in this one is going to be also that it's going to have the sharps and waist through a flip up, and going to have the attendant net. One thing, again, that's the same with all of them is going to be Braun does not have any wood in the floor. It's a composite floor that's underneath that lawn plate. And one of the things here on this one is you'll see, and I've seen this a lot of times, is going to be the bench, basically a double bench, because some of the complaints we get is depending on the location, they're never in the right spot to start an IV or to work on the patient, and this gives you the ability to slide back and forth still in that seated position. And what you'll see here is also a different they wanted to go with something that didn't have the contour in the back, so there's also a different seating that you have on here too as well. So we'll jump over to the last one. One thing I want to say as we're walking through is if you, this one is a demo here. The other two are for customers we're getting ready to deliver. But this one is a demo, so if you want to see it, please get a hold of us. Oh, jumping in the inside, sorry. Again, there's a lot of parts and pieces. So this one's set up a lot different as well. These actually are code 3 lights that are set up to, I think, antimicrobial or to kill bacteria. Let me just turn off the heat so it's not so loud. Again, all aluminum. This one does have set up with having different spacers and stuff that are inside. Everything is also restocking. And that's about all I can think about. We'll step back outside. So again, I'm Aaron Tazrick with Kodiak Emergency Vehicles. Thanks for checking us out. If you're interested in the demo, please check out some of the pictures that we have on our website, Kodiak-EV.com, or get a hold of us at area code 517-803-4268. Thanks for checking it out. Stay safe.